Hi everyone, thank you for watching my channel. Here's another video, and this one is something that can make or break your job interview. This is Malka, and I'm the author of How to Get Ahead with Resumes Revised. I was going to say revolved. And for the second book, which was How to Get Ahead with Resumes in the Digital Age. So we all know that when we present ourselves at a resume, when we present ourselves physically at a interview, that has a huge impact on the resume. See, that's where the word resume came from. So, before we get started, though, I guess the thing is to look at what is it that people notice about you when you are job searching. So most people say it's the resume, which I agree with to some degree, but the resume only says so much. Yes. The next thing that most people will answer is that, oh, it's your skills. And yes, it's your skills and your resume that will probably get you called in for an interview. However, the question is, in an interview, what's the first thing that someone notices? And that is body language. It's the nonverbal things that you are saying. And did you know that according to studies, 93% of an impression or the communication that you do with someone is nonverbal? So that's something for you to think about when you're practicing for your interviews. Even when you're talking to people in general, this is something for you to think about. 93% of your nonverbal communication is exuded through your body language. So let's jump in with how we can use our body language during our interview. So the first thing that you're going to use your body language for is the way that you sit. You're going to sit upright. You're going to sit up straight. They say sit with your back straight, and I would say this is basic etiquette. However, posture is very important, and you want to show that you have good posture. I will admit something very, very funny. Over the years, I've always been somebody who stands up very up straight, and I've noticed that some people find it intimidating because they feel that you are hovering over them, even if you're not taller than them. So that's something to keep in mind. You want to be up straight, but not to the point where you scare somebody. You want to be natural as best as you can. And if you're not a naturally up, back straight person, work on it so that it becomes natural. Okay, do it at home when you're sitting around and you're hanging out in your house, where when you go out and for an interview, it'll be second nature. Okay, good posture is very, very important. It makes you look like you're alert. It makes it look like you're interested in what's happening. Okay. The next thing that it also shows that you're confident. I would say the next thing about your body language that should be discussed is maintaining eye contact. Now, I've seen a couple of surveys on LinkedIn in the last couple of months where people are saying, about they were asking questions about what is considered good eye contact. I believe good eye contact is 50 to 70% of the time that you are speaking with someone, that you look at them in their eyes directly, kind of like what I'm doing with you right now. Yes? The reason for that is because you want to show that you're confident. Now, there's two extremes to this. The one extreme is if you don't look at someone and you're kind of evasive and you're looking around like this because you're a little bit nervous, you're giving off the nervous vibe. You're also giving off that I'm not sure of myself vibe. And especially if you're looking like this and you're looking like this, right? The other vibe is you're staring at somebody very intently like this. Some people find it uncomfortable. Some people see it as, well, that's the way I normally look. So you want to do a little bit of both. What I've been taught to do over the years is that you can look away, you look down. There are certain things that are natural though. So for instance, if you're recovering a memory, you're going to naturally look up and you're going to naturally look to the right. Okay? So that's a perfect way for you to break eye contact temporarily. If you're telling a story, then you're obviously going to be looking a different way. You'll be looking sideways, which is kind of funny, and that's just something that you should be aware of, so that if you're going to be telling a lie during your interview, that's the way to combat that. But anyway, and you want to come across as confident. So you don't want to sit back too much, but you want to sit where you're erect. You want to look at that other person, and then you want to break away a little bit. It's called balance, okay? So you want to balance all of your body language actions. Too much one way or too much the other way can have positive and negative effects. And we want to try and make sure that every piece of body language that we exude shows balance, and it gives off a positive influence or positive impression to the person or to the situation. The next piece of body language that you should probably consider is appearing closed off. For those of you who do meditation, you probably know this. We sit with our arms open like this because in our palms open, and people do this even with prayer. They keep their palms open, right? And it's that sense of, okay, I'm open. And it's a subconscious trigger, if you will, to just kind of go, oh, wow, I'm open. So when you're sitting at a job interview, you don't want to sit with your hands like this, but you can keep your arms open, and if you want, you can put your hands on your lap in front of you, within a little bit of distance to show that you are open to the conversation, that you are listening. If you're sitting and that you're approachable. If you're sitting with your arms crossed around you, you subconsciously give someone the impression that you're one of two things. You're either disinterested or that you are defensive. So even if you are speaking, right, you want to try and come across as open as you possibly can, even if it is a question that makes you feel uncomfortable, okay? What about fidgety? I don't know about anybody else, but some people, they tend to fidget while they're talking. And a lot of times, I had a conversation with somebody some years ago, and it was funny because although I was only speaking with the person, I could literally hear them tapping their foot. They were very, very nervous talking to me. And this wasn't even professional. This was more like, on a personal level. But it really made me feel uncomfortable because I could feel the tapping of the person's foot, So imagine now if we were sitting face to face, I would probably be seeing that person tapping their foot, and then I would feel a little bit unconscious or subconscious rather, because I would be like, oh wow, I'm making them feel nervous. And that's what you want to avoid when you're going through the interview. Yes, everybody comes in on an interview nervous, no matter how secure you are in yourself, no matter how much you can project that, yeah, I'm the best, which is a great thing to project. There is a limit, there is a level of vulnerability that we all show when we do show up for interviews. Now, the way to go to counter that or to get around that is to put your hands forward if you are on a table. This way you can show that you can fidget by moving your hands. After a while that can become annoying too. You can hold your own hands. That's a great way to deal with being fidgety. And fidgety can mean that you're nervous. Fidgety can mean that you're not interested, depending on what your reasonings are. But the other person who's across from you is not going to be distracted from this fidgeting during the conversation, and that's really what you want to do. I think another point in body language is obviously facial expressions, and a lot of people don't realize this plays a huge role in conversation, and I'm really, really guilty of that. I actually speak to people and I watch their expressions very, very intently. And a lot of times, even if someone is not talking to me, sadly, because I know sign language, I also read lips. And so a lot of times people will say something to my face and then they'll slightly turn around or they'll walk away, and I'm still watching, their body language because I'm curious. And so when you are speaking and you're having a conversation, you want to show that you are interested in the conversation. You want to show that you're interested in the role that you are interviewing for. And a lot of people kind of fake that, hey, that type of look. And some people are naturally like that. You want to do balance. You want to be balanced. You want to show that you're actively listening. One way to show that you're actively listening is, of course, to nod. You go, yo, yes. Mm-hmm. You can actually make a verbal, mm-hmm. That's good. Sometimes you don't want to sound like you've got, a problem. So you're going, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But you want to, pace yourself when it comes to that. And you want to show that, yes, you're interested. And so sometimes you can look around and you can go, oh, if something is interesting, you can even nod your head a little bit. You can tilt your head. Show that you're interested. While you're talking, you want to show that you're excited about whatever it is that you are speaking about. And that's very, very important. So all those points um, make for expressing your body in the positive manner during your interview. So to recap, because I just kind of like let them all roll through without really breaking them down. So to recap, posture. Posture is very important. You have to sit up straight and you want to show that you have confidence, even if you don't. Uh, the second element for mastering your body language during a job interview is to have eye contact, and it's really a balance. You want to do about 70% of the time maintaining eye contact, okay? If you don't show enough eye contact, then you give off the impression that you've wasted someone's time or that you're not interested, even though it could be that you're just nervous as heck, okay? The third element for body language mastery is handshaking. You want to be firm, and I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but I'm mentioning it here. You want to have a firm handshake. You don't want to overdo it. You also don't want to pat someone's hand because that's more of an intimate thing, or that's a more casual, right? But you do want to have a firm handshake. The fourth element of your body language mastery, if you will, right, is you want to keep your hands and your legs open. And when I say open, you're not crossed-legged. You want to, if you're a woman, you want to have your ankles crossed, okay? If you're a dude, you're not sitting with your legs crossed, and you're sure as heck not sitting, with your legs totally agape. You want to keep them where your knees are close together, but your hands are in a comfortable position. You're not sitting with your arms crossed. Things like that. You're giving the impression that you're open to this conversation, that you're enthusiastic about this conversation, and that you're not blocking off any energy from yourself or from someone else, okay? The fifth thing that you want to maintain and you want to be mindful of during a job interview that reflects your body language is going to be fidgeting, something that shows that you're nervous, whether it's tapping your foot or it's tapping a pen. It's playing with your hair. You'll see in some of my videos I do that a lot, which is really, really bad. I should be getting better at this, but I'm actually getting more nervous about it sometimes. It's overdoing the hands like this, right? All these things are very distracting because you want to talk to somebody, you want to look at their face, you don't want to be engaged with all this other stuff like this, right? So learn how to just kind of keep your hands, and the best way to combat that would be to keep your hands, if you're at a table, in front of you, or if you're not in front of a table, just keep them somewhere at your lap, if without looking weird. Okay, and the last body language mastery that you need for an interview is to try and keep your facial expressions as neutral as you possibly can while still showing an enthusiasm. So there are times when you may smile a little bit if there's something that that you remember that is very exciting. I've learned that, wow, when I'm speaking and I'm really, really passionate about something, as you can see now, I'll develop a slight smile because the person who I'm speaking with, they see, ooh, she's passionate about this, right? Things that I'm a little bit uncomfortable with, you may not necessarily see a smile on it, but I do nod like this, or I may say, while someone is speaking, because I'm still showing that we're engaged. I'm awake, I'm alert, I'm keeping with the conversation. I try not to pout, and I try not to furrow my eyebrows, because I don't want to look like I'm mean or being, unhappy. Even though if something is said, more than likely, my face, I'm very expressive, so you'll probably see in a heartbeat that you've said something that doesn't make me happy. But when you're doing an interview, you want to maintain that. You want to maintain a more balanced facial expression thing, and that's something that you can practice when you are not at the actual interview. I suggest you do it in the mirror, or you can do it by video like we're doing right now. So that's the 6 tips to mastering your body language during a job interview, and there you have it. I want to know in the comment section if you feel that your body language really is really something that is perceived by potential employers, and what are your tips to appear confident, engaged, and approachable during a interview. So please please like and subscribe. So you'll know the next time I create a video, and hopefully I'll be fully awake when I do so, and I won't feel as nervous as I continue making these videos. Best of luck on your job search, and I will see you in the next video.